Now, this one will be learning how to implement the cart functionality that we have over here on top in the navigation bar. Right now, you can see it says 0 items, and with every product, we now have a button which says add to cart. So when we click on this add to cart button, you can see the cart item getting updated. Now it's saying 2 items. So we'll see how we can implement this feature in our next.js application. The first thing that we need to do is create a context. So what we have done is we have created a context directory, and within that we have created a file. That's index.js. We have imported use reducer and create context, and then we have initialized the state of cart as empty object, and then we have created this const context using the create context. After that, we have this cart reducer function, which has the state and action as parameters. Now, it has these two cases, add to cart and remove from cart. So the add to cart basically adds item to the cart. And here you can see the cart item getting updated by one quantity every time we click on the add to cart button. Remove from cart basically removes the object or the item from the cart and then updates the updated cart, and that basically reduces the number of items from the cart by one. So these are the two things that we are doing in our cart reducer. And then we have this provider. Now the provider basically wraps around the app.tsx file. So here, once we are done creating the context and provider, we are exporting it, and in our app.tsx file, you'll notice that we have imported it from the context directory, and then we have wrapped our user provider within the provider that we have created in our context. Now, after doing these two things, we move to our cart.tsx file that we created earlier, and here we have imported use context and context, and then we are making use of state and dispatch. Then we are setting the cart to this particular state, and the total is set to 0. Here we are iterating through each of the cart entries, and we are doing the total over here. So that's basically total cart pricing. And here, if we go down, we have the functionality which says remove from cart and the quantity that we have over here and the description, and finally we are showing the total amount over here, and then we are saying checkout. So here, if I go back to my page and I click on this particular cart, we'll be taken to the cart page, and there you can see that it's showing the items that we added to our cart and the quantity it's showing over here, and the total cost is shown over here. Removing is also possible by clicking on these links, so you can update your cart and the amount also gets updated accordingly. So that's what we are doing over here in our cart.tsx. And then if you see the nav.tsx, where we have the navigation bar on top where the items keeps on updating when we click on or remove items from the cart. So here we have basically imported the context, and then we have added this state, and here you can see we have updated the cart with that state, and then we are counting how many items are there in the cart object, and we are updating the item count. Down below you'll notice we have updated the item count over here, so it's showing how many items we have in the cart. And finally, in our product list.tsx file, we have imported our use context and context, and then in our product item we are making use of the dispatch, and here where we have added a button which says add to cart, you'll notice that we are making use of the dispatch, and we are specifying the type as add to cart and the payload is product. So that's what we are passing to our context, and based on that, in our index.js, this particular thing gets called and the cart gets updated accordingly. So now we can go back to home, and here we can just go ahead and add another product. Click on this, and you can see that the item, and you can see that the total cost is now updated. The items are showing up properly, and that's how easy it is to add items to a cart or create a cart component in next.js.